Hi, and welcome to the beginning of 2024. Also, welcome to the end of Smissmas, aka Lesser Scream Fortress. Or so I thought. If you see my post for about 2 weeks prior to this video coming out, you know what it's all about. This is ranking every single Smissmas map. 21 maps, 21 opinions, Cabbage Start. Up first we have the beautiful Brew, a nice attack defense map that takes place in autumn, so not really Smissmas themed, but a welcome entry to be sure. So as you can see, Blue's Start is in a nice little cafe with lots of food around, things like that. I think it's very homey. This map actually has quite a bit of variety considering you start in a small town-like area and then you eventually go into a factory. This map has a lot of routes and I just think it's really cool if you want to flank someone. Especially when you get to the factory area and there's even more routes to take, especially a few holes, so be careful if you're trying to be reckless. Overall, a solid start. I will give Brew a B tier. Up next we have Camper, and where am I? Yeah, for some reason this map has a really weird looking closet thing area behind a vent. Whatever, it's interesting, but it is weird. This is just your basic everyday payload map, and it kind of reminds me of Upward, which is actually really cool. While it's not as cool as Upward, it's still a very welcome entry, and honestly, a little bit of a side grade if you're tired of Upward, even though that's basically impossible. And overall, being an alternative to Upward, I think Camper is very deserving of a B tier. And if you were looking for something a little bit more interesting for Smissmas, well, Carrier delivers. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but Carrier is based on a community game mode, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, this is actually really cool. So for anyone who doesn't already know, Carrier, someone has to carry a bomb from one end of the map to the other as a giant robot. It's sort of like Crasher, but attack the fence instead of capture the flag. Not only that, but whoever gets the bomb actually gets their own boss health bar, which I think is really cool, and honestly, something I didn't even realize we're missing in Crasher. So yeah, this is definitely the point where I realized this time Smissmas was a little bit more than Smissmas last year. So just the concept of being a twist on what we used to know about Smissmas, Carrier is definitely getting an A tier. But back on a more vanilla note, we have the ICS map Chili, which is just a reskin of Terror. Overall, it's okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess just being an ICS map and how I felt about ICS maps over time, it's just kind of bland. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's also because I couldn't really play with anyone because of the sniper bots. I mean, don't get me wrong, the theme is nice, giant presents around, this and that, whatever. There are a few autumn leaves, which is kind of weird. I feel like they forgot to take that out from Terror. But overall, it's just an okay map. Chili C tier, whatever. And up next we have Coal Pit, a winter reskin of Gravel Pit. I've already gone about how Gravel Pit is just an okay map to me and really kind of forgettable. And this one's kind of the same. Sure, it has a few new elements like snowman bombs, and the cosmetic changes are nice, but there's ice around that you can't break, and there's no ice physics. Overall, compared to Lava Pit, this is just another map. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm in the minority, but it's just kind of there for me. So Coal Pit also gets a C tier. And up next we have Double Frost. I'm going to be a little bit more generous with my opinions, pretty much because I love this map. I actually prefer it over Double Cross. I think the changes here just make it seem a lot more cozy and just really bring some sort of feeling to me. Maybe it's the foggy mountains in the distance, or the snow coming around, or even the ice physics that they have underground. I like the ice physics, they're fun. Even though it's a pretty basic vanilla map, I think Double Frost is an A tier. I love this map. And up next we have Emerge, another basic payload map. But lo and behold, there's a twist. If you go to the out of bounds, you might see yourself looking at a frog coming out of a rock. And that's really the only super interesting part of this map. Sure, there's a little bit more trivia, but really that's the only thing that kind of stood out to me as being something weird. Overall, I consider this map to be just a lesser version of Camber. I know I called it Camper earlier. I don't know how to read, but maybe it's just because I didn't actually get to play this map. So overall, it might actually be fun, so I think just for that, just because I didn't get to fully try it out, I'll give Emerge a B tier. Let's be generous a little bit. And up next we have Frostclip, another payload map. Maybe it's just me, but this one's a little bit more interesting. Probably because it's nighttime and it's snowing. Aha! But let's not forget, this is another ICS map. And I think you know what we do here to ICS maps. Yeah, it's a C tier. Moving on. But in all seriousness, there's nothing really to say about it. It's just basic payload. I mean, but it is a classic Smissmas map, so what really can we hold against it? It's not as good as the 2023 maps. C tier. Yeah. And after that, we have Frostwatch, which is actually a pretty interesting map. It's very small, and it's kind of like a literal uphill battle between attack and defense teams. But overall, I mean, it's also really basic. I kind of enjoy this one, but at the same time, it's not really one that I'm willing to go on and play. But the way the map was designed is actually pretty interesting, being a literal uphill battle like I already brought up. So I'm gonna give Frostwatch a B tier. And up next we have Frosty, a capture the flag map, which is, in my opinion, kind of like 2 Fort but in winter. There's a lot of interesting little paths to go through. Tunnels, vents, outside. I definitely think this is a very cozy map. Honestly, probably one of my go-to picks if I had to pick one. The area around also looked like the perfect place to have a huge snowball fight, something I haven't done in years. But besides nostalgia and being a legitimately pretty neat map to play, where I come from, we call Frosty a B tier. Let's get back into Uncharted Territory though. Galleria, I don't even know how it's pronounced, but you don't even have to take my word for it that this is an awesome map. It's player destruction, A, that's already awesome. B, it takes place in a mall, that's already, that's cool. C, it has an ice rink in the middle in a mall. I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. D, the stores around are awesome. And E, the theater section. I don't even have to elaborate on this one. Look at the posters and you'll understand that this part of the map is really cool. But of course, we can't even forget about Gossamer Baby Asbestos. Obviously the best product sold in a mall, you know. And at the end of the day, Galleria, whatever, is doing a lot better job at existing than what I'm saying right now. So Galleria, S tier. And after that, we have Harp. Oh my god. I have only one flaw with this map, and it's the fact that it came out in 2009 for a contest, won, and it was only added this year. What took them so long? It's a capture the flag / attack defense map that goes to different locations. Why was this not here before? But honestly, I just don't understand. This is a map where the team takes their own intelligence to infiltrate the HARP, also known as the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, and they put their intel and steal the whole place and everything, and it only came out this year. This could have been here for years, and it wasn't. Why? I don't understand why. I mean, you already know what I'm saying. This is an S tier map. It's awesome. I just don't get it why it took so long to be here. Like, what the heck, dude? Now let's take a little step back, shall we? Remember Bonesaw? Well, Hacksaw is pretty much just Bonesaw before it went emo. It's pretty much just the original version of Bonesaw. Nothing to really say here except you can shoot the birds. There's no horseless, headless horseman, so yeah, that's something. But you can shoot the birds! I mean, I just think overall that makes this map almost as good as Bonesaw, so I'm gonna give Hacksaw a B tier. So remember, next time you get to play this map, shoot the birds. But you thought the party was over, didn't you? Next up we have the whole reason why people were so hyped about Smissmas 2023. Krampus! You don't even need to hear me say that this is an S tier map. This is literally a Scream Fortress map in Smissmas. It has a cool boss fight that's really engaging and fun, where Krampus chases you around, hits you, smacks you around, and fires homing rockets at you. Not only that, he has his own awesome voice lines. He has a lot of health, and he's really intense to fight, and then after you kill him, you get an underworld section that gives you free crits! I mean, there's no sugarcoating. You knew about this map before you even saw it. Everybody was talking about it like it was the second coming of, second coming of Jesus or something. So yeah, Krampus. This is literally one of the best maps in the game ever. It's an S tier. It's more than an S tier. It gets Krampus tier because it's Krampus and it's awesome. And up next we have the very basic but fun Polar. Pretty much it's just a basic payload map, but it does have the Northern Lights, which does give you something to look at. Now, considering I didn't actually get to play this one, let's think. I imagine this map would be very fun. It's got neat little shortcuts and different routes around the place. It's got presents here and there, which is always a welcome experience for the Christmas experience. So if you like presents, you know that this map is a basic B tier. But then you move on to whatever the heck Rumford is. It's another basic payload map. I don't know what it was, but Smissmas was very payload heavy. But let's take a deeper dive into this, shall we? I like the idea that the blue team is taking the payload card to destroy a paper company. I mean, that just seems over the top and weird. I mean, yeah, bombing a paper company. Name a better way to waste your time than that. But it's just your basic winter map, you know, it's daytime, there's not really any snow, not much Christmas stuff going on, but you know what, it's a welcome addition. I'll give Rumford a B tier with most of the other payload maps. And next up we have Snowfall, a winter reskin of Landfall, which is one of my favorite Capture the Flag maps. Now right at the bat, you can tell that the intelligence is a present now instead of just a regular briefcase. You have Christmas lights about, it's nighttime, it's snowing, there's a lot of snow everywhere, and honestly this map just reminds me of a nice Christmas Eve inside. You're sitting by the fireplace, probably roasting marshmallows, trying to avoid your house going down, and probably not being wanted for counts of arson. It's simple, it's cozy, it's Christmas, and with the giant Christmas tree in the middle, I'm gonna give Snowfall an A tier, because I like Christmas. Honestly, who doesn't? But then next up, you have Snow Tower. Have you ever known a kid for a little bit of time, and then he shows up to school one day and you realize, what the heck, why does he have an afro? Well, that's pretty much what Snow Tower is. It's High Tower with an afro, and the afro is a King of the Hill map. I don't know how they came up with this. I mean, this is legitimately really cool. Of course, it has typical Smissmas element. Snow, northern lights, snow everywhere, Christmas trees, that kind of stuff. Of course, being a reskin of High Tower, which is already one of the most iconic maps in the game, Snow Tower it's so welcoming. It's so cool. It's such a neat twist on the map that we all knew and loved. And honestly, I'm all here for it. I think this should be added to the regular game. I'm gonna give Snow Tower an S tier. But after that, we have Snowville, a winter reskin of Sawmill. It's not King of the Hill. It's not Capture the Flag, it's Player Destruction. Now, this map has an interesting little gimmick which makes it definitely different from other Player Destruction maps. So the point you have to deliver to is actually a sleigh, which is driven by two pyrobots from Man vs. Machine. And what happens every now and then is that they will go to a different location, meaning you actually have to move around the map and not camp around the middle if you want to send your things to them. Yeah, but not only that, there's a few extra routes to the map which definitely shakes things up enough where you can flank someone or hide from an enemy however you feel like. So I think Snowville, being one of my favorite maps in the game period, it gets an A tier because it's snow in Sawmill. And here we have our last new map, Turbine Center, a winter reskin of a map that's considered to be the worst map in the game for some reason, which is obviously a wrong opinion. Instead of taking place in a turbine place or whatever the original map was, this one takes place in a mall type setting. You've got different doors with little fun references and play on word kind of names, and in the middle you have a giant Christmas tree with a train going around it, and here and there you'll actually see some fun German references as well, like come on, Albert and Sons, please. But let's not forget the other stores like Sun Zoo, The Workshop, and other little things like that. But considering I already liked Turbine as it was, this map just completely steps it up, especially if you ever just stand there, you look out the window and you see just nice Christmas themed city outside. This map is so incredibly cozy, and honestly, Turbine was already an A tier for me. Turbine Center just turns it up, and honestly, I think it's an S tier because it's no longer Christmas. It's still an S tier. Alright, moving on to Wetville. It's Wetville time, everybody. It's Wetville time. Now, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I actually like Wetville. Now, I get it. The colors are kind of dry. I really wish the map was more vibrant. But, I mean, it's a Dr. Seuss themed map. How can you go wrong? Dr. Seuss was such a big part of, like, everybody's childhood. And the fact that you don't like this map definitely says you're wrong. And there's something wrong with you, and you should be arrested for having a wrong opinion. I can't make that joke. But at the end of the day, it's Wetville. It's the Christmas themed Whoville. And honestly, just for that, I think this is good for a B tier, just like the rest of the payload maps. So, yeah. And that marks the end of the Smissmas maps tier list. We're gonna look at it one more time, and make sure you give it to your kids or your friends next year for Christmas, because I'm sure they will enjoy it, because this is only the greatest present of all time. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's the Smissmas Maps tier list. But with that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'm hoping we get to see a bright and sunny 2024. I hope this video has found you in a good mood, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But seriously, Whoville is awesome. Stop being wrong.